Bird era here at Boston, and for the 218th consecutive time, he's helped fill the Boston Garden. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rick Barry. We're delighted you could join us for tonight's ball game, and it should be quite a battle. You're going to be watching one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports history. And, of course, the Boston Celtics hoping to take that one final step to go on to defend their NBA title in the NBA Finals. 76ers trying to stay alive. The Celtics have won 7 in a row here during playoff time at the Garden, and they said that the 76ers, Bill, won the last game because of their pride, and that this series is just about over. What do you think?
Au contraire, Rick. Au contraire, or not necessarily so. The Sixers feel that they haven't played a real good team effort in any of the games they've played so far, even though they won the last one. Now, they feel they have to get production out of their first 8 players in order to beat these guys, but they think they're up to it.
What do they have to do to be able to stay alive, the Sixers, that is?
Well, the key, it has to be the defense. They have to stunt a little bit, double team, but they have to play real good defense and make the Celtics, when they double team, take that outside shot, that first outside shot.
What about Charles Barkley? What must the Celtics do to stop him?
I'm not so sure that they want to stop him. And what I mean is they want to confine him, yes. But if he's dominating the offense, that means that Moses can't. And if Moses is dominating the offense, you have to double team him, and that creates a series of other problems. Whereas if Barkley's dominating, he will be okay, but he wouldn't call all those different problems that Moses could call.
I got to push on the spot. Last game, will the Sixers be able to win tonight?
It's a toss-up, because this is one time that the building doesn't mean anything.
Okay, and of course, a big story also has been the play of Julius Erving. He has not performed as well as people have seen him in the past. We'll have more on that when we return. Julius Erving in Game 3 had a 5-point effort. That tied his career playoff low. He finished the weekend shooting 5 for 31, 16%. And a lot of people are saying that the doctor may be finished, and he's had a lot of criticism thrown his way, even was booed in Philadelphia. I asked him what he thought about all the criticism.
Well, you know, I think if you go to center stage and you put it on the line, then you're subject to be praised or criticized. And, you know, I've gotten some of both. Unfortunately, the criticism has come from the public and the media and the Celtics, and the praise has just come from our owner and our coach and my teammates. But, you know, I can live with that. I've always been one to put it on the line year in and year out. This is my 14th year of playoff basketball, and I've experienced many things during those years, and this is just another one of the experiences that I think will make me a better person as I go out and complete the rest of my life.
Bill, what do you think?
Well, I think that the Sixers are a changing team. And during this changing process, it will affect Julius's numbers adversely, because he's not getting the kind of attention from his team that he's got in the past. And so the criticism, I think, is mostly by people that don't really know the game and understand what he's doing and what a great change he's made in order for this to happen in a way that the team stays competitive.
Terrific person, and not many people in his position would be willing to accept the role that he has accepted with his team, and he has contributed greatly, and I'm sure that he'll be ready for tonight's ball game. And having spoken with him before, he was very intense.
And any guy who wears number 6 can't be all bad.
Let's take a look now at who will be starting for Billy Cunningham and the Philadelphia 76ers. Of course, the doctor, Julius Erving. Charles Barkley, the rookie who was inserted into the lineup in Game 4 and had a marvelous performance. It'll be Moses Malone in the center position, Maurice Cheeks and Andrew Toney taking up the chores in the backcourt. They'll be going up against Casey Jones' lineup of Larry Bird, MVP, of course, last year in the league, and of course, this year, many think he'll be that as well. Kevin McHale, who won the Sixth Man, the award this year, just voted today, that came out. Robert Parrish, the Chief, playing marvelously in the center position. Dennis Johnson having perhaps his finest playoff ever, even though he was MVP with Seattle a few years ago. And Danny Ainge, who has come into his own this year. The officials for tonight's ball game: Mike Mathis, the alternate, on your left, John Vanek in the center, and Hugh Evans on the right. And Bill, I expect an extremely physical game, because there has been a lot of bantering and talk going on between these two ball clubs. Things like Cedric Maxwell saying it's just like a man going to the electric chair. They're condemned. Doesn't matter what they say, whether they're guilty or innocent, they're going to go to the chair. They've got a couple of minutes to live, and they're looking at the clock. And the 76ers don't like it.
Well, I don't think it's going to change the game that much. When they get out to the playing, they're going to play the way they normally play, because what you want to do in the playoffs is do what you do best. And you can't get into small games or games inside games that are not productive.
Well, Larry Bird, the man you're looking at now, has said that whatever it takes, we'll do it, because he said right now we're a better basketball team. And the 76ers will get the first chance to get on the scoreboard. They have jumped out to leads in 3 of the 4 games early, only to find the Boston Celtics to come back and go on to victory. Andrew Toney, who had suffered in poor shooting in the first 2 ball games and has come on strong lately, misses the first shot of the ball game.
Now they have Barkley on Parrish. And I think that can be a mismatch.
Well, that's exactly what Billy Cunningham wants, though, because he feels Parrish will do just that, shoot the outside shot, keeping Barkley out of foul trouble because they believe McHale is too quick for him inside. Malone can't get it to drop. Both teams a little cold here in the early going. Johnson again.
That's the way you break the ice. Keep layup.
One way to get a high percentage. The doctor. And that's a nice way to start off with a difficult shot like that to see it drop. Johnson had a step over Cheeks, and I think he may have twisted his ankle. He's turned it over a little bit, but he's okay. He was limping on it just a little bit. Billy Cunningham is livid. He is just really jumping on John Vanek.
Listen to him.
Now here's the play. Now let's watch his ankle. There's the right one. There you see, turned over. He actually landed a little bit on the side, that right ankle. And the ball goes over. You see him limping right there, but he's okay.
He's a tough guy.
Billy Cunningham, very intense. And at lunch today with Billy, he wants this game very badly. He's not real pleased with the way the 76ers have been winning. In other words, he thinks they're just kind of rubbing it in. Shot clock is down inside of 10. Maurice Cheeks. Sixers lead by 2.
Now here's their first step. They're going to go the full court press. And all these things are to throw the timing off.
Celtics having a difficult time with their shooting thus far. The doctor in the open court where he is so tough draws the foul, and this is the Sixers want. They want to get that running game.
Now, see, if they can get the Celtics to take a quick shot, they will get the long rebound, and when you get the long rebound, you can fast break much better off that than any other rebounder or missed shot.
You see Dennis Johnson with the first foul. And one thing Billy Cunningham was pointing out, he feels that Kevin McHale has been such a key to the success of the Celtics in that they go to McHale early. And one of the problems that they're having, even in their defensive assignment switches, is that McHale doesn't go to the offensive boards, to the defensive boards maybe as strongly. And he takes off and gets down and gets good position before Moses can pick him up. And there's a violation out of bounds for the Celtics.
Have been complaining about in other series that when the guy takes the ball out on the baseline, he doesn't step all the way out. He straddles the line.
And you're supposed to go all the way out and not be breaking the plane, the imaginary plane. And Kevin McHale committing the violation. And Billy Cunningham was really upset in game number 1 because he felt the Celtics were doing that time after time. And he's brought it to the attention of the officials, and obviously they're watching for it. Barkley from 19. Barkley said that he likes to be able to hit those first couple of shots to loosen up the defense, but that's not going to do it. And why he took a step backwards, I have no idea.
Get away from the defensive man.
Well, he looked like he had plenty of room. Moses off the Johnson miss.
And there goes the Sixer fast break.
And Barkley converts on a good pass from Julius Erving. First 2 for Barkley. It's 8-2. The 76ers again going out to an early lead. There's Cunningham on the sidelines. He'll be doing that all night long. Malone went for the fake, and he draws the foul. McHale with a nice move.
Now, I talked to Kevin McHale today at the shoot-around, and he feels that if he can get Moses 2 or 3 early fouls, especially, then he can get Moses back off and give him that shot.
Julius draws the foul. And again, see, Julius seeing the opening, knowing that his outside shooting hasn't been working well, made what I think, Bill, is a smart play. When you're not going well and your confidence is wavering, take it to the basket.
Here's another look at Julius going in.
He had the jumper. Good moves. He drew it. Foul with the body against Robert Parrish, his first. Philadelphia has already forced 3 Boston turnovers early in the ball game. We've got 9-10 to go here in the first period.
And looks like it's going to be 8-2 lead. 10-2 lead, 8-point lead, and Celtics better regroup because they have this 2 points won't get it.
And Casey Jones must have heard that your old teammate has called a timeout. It's 10 for the Sixers, 2 for Boston. There's a little action from earlier in the game as McHale and Moses battle for position inside. Moses doesn't want McHale to get the block. You can see him using the body, the lower leg to help keep him out, and then a little push besides to get him a little further out. And now here comes the nice move, the fake. You saw Moses go for it, and he fouled with the body. But it's not a bad ratio when you can hit the man 3 times and only pick up 1 foul, is it, Bill?
You usually come out a little ahead if you can get that done.
There's the turnovers, and the points off of the turnovers, of course, in favor of Philadelphia, since Philadelphia...
Now, here's one of the stunts I was talking about defensively that I expected the Sixers to use. And that's a good idea there.
Well, you can't leave that man open,
right.
though. He was shooting before the ball game, and he was like a machine. And you asked me, Bill, you said, were you a better shooter than Bird when you played? And I said, no chance. The man is a great shooter. Barkley had McHale out of position, but he himself was out and couldn't take advantage and takes a bad shot. And that was a rookie mistake right there because McHale should have been burned. The Celtics trying to cut into that lead. Larry falling away that time. That caused him to come up short. The Sixers moving it up quickly to get the opportunity shot. Cheeks can't get it to drop. Julius had it. Parrish knocks it to Cheeks. Maurice Cheeks gives the Celtics 76ers an 8-point lead. 12-4, 8:09 to go here in the first period. Looking inside again, battling. Cheeks with the good hand. Cheeks against Johnson. That's a great defensive play. Barkley's got it. Over Ainge. No foul. All the players hit the deck. Ainge, the doctor, and Barkley, and the Celtics come back.
Great defensive play by Dennis Johnson at the deadline. That was an outstanding defensive play that Dennis took. He set that one up perfect. They hit another foul the other end here.
No basket. Foul before the shot was taken on Andrew Toney trying to reach around from behind. Let's watch that great play by Dennis Johnson.
Dennis sets him up here, so he goes up now. Watch. There's a good angle there.
Marvelous play on the part of Dennis Johnson, one of the best defending guards in the league. Toney in great position against McHale, almost caused a walk. Good defense by the Sixers. There's the mismatch. Parrish can't get it to drop, though.
Bad shot.
Celtics back very well defensively. Only 3 Sixers there and 5 Celtics. Toney drops the shoulder into Ainge. And Toney not being able to find the range so far. Back comes Boston. 4 against 4.
Great pass by Danny Ainge. Good running by Robert Parrish.
6-point lead for the 76ers. 12-6. Coming up on the 7-minute mark, first period. Shot clock inside of 10 now for Philadelphia. McHale with the rebound. And when Moses goes out and Parrish goes with him, then McHale will stay in to do the rebounding chores. Bird. Malone with another rebound.
And here comes one of the most dangerous guys on the Sixers team. Maurice Cheeks, you got to watch him all the time, and he just drew that foul very well.
Larry Bird didn't like the call, as you can see. His first foul.
Let's see if we can pick up the foul. Here goes Maurice Cheeks inside.
Bird, who was guarding Julius Erving. Erving set a screen on Parrish, and Bird had to switch off and drew the foul. It's 3 team fouls against Boston, 2 against Philadelphia.
You know, Maurice Cheeks is one of those guys that when you say who's the best guard in the league, and you pick him the first team all league and all that, you never bring his name up, but then you realize later that maybe shoot him because he's one of the best guards that played in this league in a long time.
He's got 5 points so far in this ball game. Philadelphia 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Boston yet to get there. Johnson saw the opening and takes it. Breakdown Philadelphia defensively that time.
Well,
4
when they double
points for
team,
DJ.
that's what the Celtics have to do. They shouldn't take the outside shot. They should get penetration whenever they possibly can when Philly double team.
Julius loses the handle. Ainge with the steal. Bird finally gets it. Parrish, great pass from Ainge. 2 good cuts by Parrish, 2 great passes by Ainge. 13-10, Philadelphia. 4 points for Robert Parrish as the Boston Garden crowd comes alive.
good moving pick by Moses.
Cheeks gets knocked down. Wanted to foul. Ainge had hit him, took his legs out from under him. He's had 7 points now. 5.5 minutes to go, first period. There's the double teaming and the good swing of the ball by the Celtics. Ainge, this time he throws it away.
Good idea, bad execution. That's the shot that the Sixers want him to take, and that's the shot he should not take.
In other words, don't take the first quick open opportunity.
Right. Make the defense work a little harder, and you'll get a better shot.
Philly trying to go back up by 7 or more. They lead by 5 right now. Tony with an excellent move to lose McHale. Andrew Tony finally gets on the scoreboard. His first 2 points, 17 to 10. Barkley goaltending. They didn't hear the whistle. Play had stopped. John Vanek, the outside official, called goaltending against Barkley. Scored the basket for Dennis Johnson. Johnson now with 6 points.
Let's take another look at see if we can see the goaltender. Now the ball's on the way.
That looked like it was on the way up.
Yeah, looked like a pretty good block.
Sure did, didn't it? Philadelphia by 5, 17 to 12. Inside of 5 minutes to go now. Bobby Jones will be the first substitute in this game, coming in for the 76ers as he reports to the scorer's table. Uh-oh, Tony's finding the range.
Well, they're setting some real good moving pictures on the baseline for Tony to get him free.
4 now.
As long as they get away with it, they should keep doing it.
Doctor battling inside with Bird, and Larry wins. Bird with 4.
Now, Bird made contact, and before Doctor defense man could recover, he'd taken that shot.
Julius finding the range from outside. A different Julius Erving. He's got 8 points already in tonight's ball game. Tony hits the deck. Bird's open. Not a chance. Too hard off the glass. There's Barkley on the boards. 3-on-2 break. Cheeks. He's got Doctor on the right. He knifes through himself. Cheeks
Very
now
dangerous,
with 9.
Very dangerous man with the ball because he really makes great decisions usually on whether to pass the ball or shoot it.
Philadelphia playing beautifully. They're up by 9. Parrish can't get the outside one to drop. McHale over the back. No foul. Parrish gets it back. And the Sixer bench, the coaching staff, all up. Parrish has 6 points, all on dunk shots.
That's a pretty good way of getting them.
Sixers have made 5 consecutive shots. And we have a timeout by Philadelphia. 3:39 to go, first period. The 76ers lead Boston. Back with Bill Russell, Boston Garden, Game 5, championship in the Eastern Conference. Bobby Jones is into the game, and Billy Cunningham said that he hoped to just stay close in the first period. He felt that they could do that. They had a great shot at winning the game. He has to be very pleased right now.
Well, they get off to a good start.
See the shooting percentages.
Now, Billy Cunningham was taking Maurice Cheeks out of it. I was just going to say that I thought that Maurice Cheeks, in this part of the game, is the most dangerous man for the Celtics on the Sixer team.
So the 76ers shooting over 50%. They only shot 40, or shooting 45% so far in the first 4 ball games. Barkley inside. It's going to be a foul on Dennis Johnson first for pushing off as Bird made a clean block. Johnson doesn't like it. Inside, Philadelphia has gotten 6 points.
Let's take a look at it. Let's see now. Here's Dennis has a complaint.
Yes,
a legitimate complaint.
Very valid complaint as we see it again. The other angle.
Look at that.
And he got fouled.
He got fouled before.
Great replays by our cameraman. Director Mark Goldsmith doing his usual outstanding job, coming up with the good stuff from the end of the season.
About time, Rick.
Philadelphia has 5 break opportunities for 6 points. Boston 1 for 2 points. As Barkley, who's only shooting 54% during the playoffs in this series from the free throw line, has trouble again. You saw it there, 8-point lead for the 76ers. We've got 3:10 to go here in the first period. Again, Boston dominating the inside game as McHale gets 2 more inside. Boston has 18 points.
Patient play that they ran. That play, they took their time to set that play up for McHale to get that. And it's so beautiful to watch teams that know how to be patient.
Barkley can't get it to drop. Bird with the rebound. The Celtics have scored 16 of their 18 points inside. The alley-oop too hard. Ainge had it. Barkley's got it. He's got Tony. Bird with a great block. To Johnson. 3-on-1. To McHale.
Great defensive play by Bird. Some of the ball. And they really took advantage of it. Great play, great sequence.
Cut back to a 4-point lead for the 76ers. The Celtics doing it with the defense. Another good defensive play. As they went for the lob, as Paris was running, came up short. Foul's going to be outside on Richardson, who just reported into the ball game on the last free throw. He came in for Maurice Cheek. Clem Johnson's going to be coming in. Clement Johnson, as you look at K.C. Jones. Barkley goes to the bench.
So far, I don't think that the Celtics did anything like double team or anything to change to try to stop Barkley.
We're inside of 2 minutes to go now, first period. Bird gets around Jones, gets it to Parrish, and we have got the foul spotted inside by Hugh Evans.
Let's take a look at it. Bird goes baseline, and he flips the pass, I believe. Nice pass out to Robert Parrish, and there's the meeting of the hands.
Foul was called on Bobby Jones, his first, fourth team foul. Both teams with 4 as Ray Williams enters for Danny Ainge. Also, Scott Wedman will be coming in. He's coming in for Larry Bird.
You know, Scott Wedman this year has made the greatest contribution to the Celtics he's made in the years since he came over from Cleveland. The first couple of years, he didn't do very much, but he's been playing very well for him, especially when Larry Bird was out injured. Scotty came up with some 30-point ball games.
They did that big game against Cleveland, he did. 7 points for Robert Parrish now. It's a 3-point 76er lead. 1:45 to go, first period. Bobby Jones with the left hand gets a good bounce. He was 7 for 8 in game number 4. His first 2 points back up to a 5-point 76er lead. Knocked away by Tony, but the Celtics track it down. 3-pointer, Williams. Moses, rebound. Wide open, Jones. Can they see him? Yes. Great move. 4 points for Jones.
That was not a good shot by Ray Williams, although he thought maybe the clock was going down. The play broke down, and he had enough time to set it back up.
Back up to a 7-point Philadelphia lead. McHale gets Moses in the air, can't get it to drop, and follows his own shot. Back to a 5-point Sixer lead, 50 seconds to go. First period. McHale with 6. Foul's going to be on Ray Williams. That'll be the penalty. That'll send Tony to the free throw line.
And Andrew Tony's a tough man because he's such a good outside shooter. You have to get up on him reasonably close. But you got to make him go to his left.
K.C. Jones looking on very anxiously, of course, hoping to get this final victory to move on to the finals.
And Tony can go to his left. That's not saying when you make him go to your left, you have to play him. But he's not as tough going to his left as he is to his right.
Make a player beat you with his weaknesses, not his strengths. Into the ball game, Sam Williams, Moses Malone, Andrew Tony, as you see, his free throw percentages, that's for the entire playoffs. In this series, he's shooting 83% from the free throw line, averaging 18.7 points a game against the Celtics. Tony has 6 in this game so far. Williams loses it. Tony gets it back, but they're calling a foul inside, and Cunningham, as you see walking off of your screen, cannot believe it.
And call a foul on Andrew Tony.
Look at Billy. Cedric Maxwell, seeing his first action, comes in for Robert Parrish. 2 fouls on Tony. Maurice Cheeks will be coming back in for Tony. I tell you, Cedric Maxwell has really been doing some talking, though, Bill. He said this is going to be a mercy killing. He said the old pulse rate is lowering. Call out the priests. He says they're almost dead. He says we're going to put them out of their misery Wednesday night. Robert Parrish looks like tending to a scratch or some sort of a cut he has on his left hand. Ray Melfiore, the trainer, looking it over. First 2 points for Ray Williams. 5-point lead for the 76ers. Final 25 seconds here in the first period. It's been a good quarter for the 76ers. Shot clock now inside of 10. Williams has a mismatch inside. Travels.
Good defensive play by Dennis Johnson playing guard when he's overmatching the big guy.
He's 6'4". Williams is 6'8". And we have 10 seconds to go now, first period. 9, 8, 7. Little trap by the Sixers. It's down to 5. Dennis Johnson, 2-point shot. 1 second. And it's a foul on Clement Johnson over the back and to the free throw line. Will go Ray Williams. And a technical foul on Billy Cunningham because he was livid. Did you see Billy now? John Bannock gave him a technical. Jack McMahon, his assistant, also upset. Billy's out on the court again. He better watch out or he's going to be out of here. What a joke, he said.
Now, Billy's really into this game. So here's the play. Let's see. Let's see if we can see the foul here. There's over the back. Yes.
That's a good call. Not a good play by Clement Johnson. As you saw his reaction, Ray Williams has hit both of the free throws. Now he's going to get to shoot. Well, he shot the technical.
The hardest shot in basketball, the technical free throw. With no time.
It's also tough to shoot it when you're standing regular free throws. Billy's still upset. The end of the first period. The Celtics have cut it back to a 2-point Philadelphia lead.
America's Super Shootout, the NBA playoffs. Brought to you in part by Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Bill, I would imagine that if you were Casey Jones, you'd have to be happy at what happened with Billy Cunningham and the 76ers at the end of that period.
Not necessarily.
You like to say that, don't you? Not necessarily.
Well, you see, on the road, Rick, sometimes a technical foul can help your team. Because the coach is out there fighting for his players. And that's what Cunningham is doing. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, you haven't lost anything.
You can see the team statistics. First period, Sixers and Celtics shooting both 11 for 22 in the free throw percentage. Boston 6 for 7. Philly 8 for 10. Rebounds 10 for Philly. 13 for Boston. Boston with 6 turnovers. Philadelphia with 3. McHale back into the ball game. Williams from 20. We're tied at 30. 7 points for Ray Williams, doing a marvelous job off the bench for Casey Jones. By far his best performance.
Great shot by Bobby Jones, left-handed. Sometimes I wonder if he's not a closet left-hander.
Yeah. 6 for Bobby Jones off the bench. Ray Williams did have 10 points in game number 3. Shot clock is down to 5. Cheeks with the steal. That's Clint Richardson, and another great block by the Celtics, and it is off of the 76ers. Now 3 layup attempts from the left side of the basket have been blocked. 1 by McHale, 1 by Bird, and 1 by Dennis Johnson. And that has been a big factor in this ball game. And we've got a 20-second timeout by the Boston Celtics. And Bill, I think this would be an appropriate time while they're doing this to mention a man who was a good friend of yours and a very good friend of all of the people in the Boston Celtic organization who passed away yesterday. Walter Randall, who was with the team from day number 1. 39 years he was the equipment manager here, and we at TBS want to send our condolences to his wife Ethel, and I know he'll be missed.
You know, we thought that he came with the building when everybody came here, and he was such a nice man, but he was funny in that until you played here 5 years, he never called you by your name. He called you by your number. And then after you stayed 5 years, then you were then a Celtic as far as he's concerned, and then he started calling you by your name. But the first 5 years, I was his number 6.
And they did a very nice thing. They had a moment of silence before the game for Walter Randall. We're back now to live action, the Boston Celtics. Quinn Buckner has come into the ball game. Charles Barkley's back in for Philadelphia. Shot clock at 4 as Buckner hits from 18. So the bench.
Now
The
that's
Boston
the guy
Celtics doing well.
Probably the weakest shooter out there. Great player, but not a good shooter. And if he's going to hit that 17, 18-footer on you, it makes it a long evening.
Second foul on Ray Williams. Robert Parrish coming back in. Now Larry Bird will join him. Now Julius Erving running to the scorer's table to join in the party. The doctor in for Bobby Jones. It should be pointed out that even though Julius shot very poorly over the weekend, in Game 4, he did a very nice defensive job against Larry Bird, who had 4 for 15 in that particular ball game.
Well, he's changed himself and made himself an outstanding defensive player, not just a good one. Good shot by Ken Richardson. Over the years, he was known for many years as a great offensive player. But the last 5 years, he made himself an excellent defensive player.
Turnover. Buckner lost the handle, carried the ball. Yes, and I think that great players in this league, though, who come in with an offensive reputation, do make that transition over to become much better individual and team defensive players. That's 8 turnovers now for Boston, only 3 for Philadelphia. We've got 10-15 to go here in the second period. Philadelphia up by 2. We've been tied twice. Parrish over Clement Johnson for the rebound off of the miss by Richardson. Very strange combination for the Celtics right now with Williams and Buckner in the backcourt. Shot clock inside of 10. It's down to 5. Buckner from 19 gets it back to Bird. Left hand will fall. Johnson knocks Bird down, but Ray Williams is there. He's got 9. Tied at 34.
Ray Williams is making quite a contribution tonight.
Celtic bench usually outscored heavily in all the playoff competition. Julius hits the deck. Going to have a foul on Clement Johnson over the back of Robert Parrish.
And here comes Moses back.
Second team foul against, or the first team foul against Philadelphia. Johnson with his first foul goes to the benches. Moses returns. Told you Billy Cunningham was ready for this ball game emotionally. He was very intense. Ray Williams, it's like he turned his ankle. Yes, he did. He stepped, I think, against Richardson on the side of his foot and turned his right ankle. He's limping over on the left side. As Maxwell goes inside in, Barkley is there for the big block and points a finger at Maxwell and says, take that, because they've had words. Barkley loses the handle. The fans want a double dribbling. Malone inside, strong. Ray Williams is definitely hurt. He's still hobbling around with that right ankle. Dennis Johnson will be reported back in as Bird misfires. Here comes Danny Ainge also. But that could really hurt the Celtics if Ray Williams, who's hobbling quite a lot in front of the Philly bench right now. You see Ainge. He's got great effort with 9 points off the bench. He's really limping very severely right directly across from us now at half court. And they're saying he can't come in. He's still in the game. The Celtics are calling a timeout because the ball went over the backboard. For some reason, they wouldn't let Ray Williams go out. He's limping along. The Celtics have taken a timeout. 8:44 to go, second period. Philadelphia 36, Boston 34, and Ray Williams is in trouble. All right, let's take a look and see what happened to Ray Williams. Now, let's watch his right ankle right there. He steps on the side of the foot of Richardson.
Oh, yeah, that really turned it.
Turned it over, and he has gone to the locker room with trainer Ray Malchiori. We'll see what happens. We'll get a report on him as soon as we can. Reminder that at the conclusion of the game, we'll be selecting the light beer most valuable player of the game, and of course, in conjunction with that award, Turner Broadcasting and Light Beer from Miller will present a check for $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name.
Rick?
Yes, Bill.
I hate to admit it, but Goldsmith did come up with a good one on that one. When he got
replay. Of course, I'm talking about our producer, director, and the man of many hats, Mark Goldsmith. Nice job. As you see the inside scoring, Philadelphia finally trying to make a dent in that area. Bird overcommitted. Julius with a great last step. 10 points for the doctor.
That was a very deceptive move.
And obviously the talk of retirement for Julius are a bit premature.
Oh, he's never talked about it. The people that
criticize do all the talking.
Yes.
Shot clock down inside of 10. Moses now has the duty of guarding Parrish since McHale's not in the game, and he gets it to drop.
That was a good play by Parrish because he initiated the contact.
The Chief, who has been playing well, now has 9 points in the game. Cheeks can't get it to drop. Parrish with another rebound. Ainge to Bird. Barkley, he knocks Bird down after the shot. And they've got a foul. The outside official, John Vanek, saw the foul.
Nope.
No, he's not calling the foul.
Out of bounds.
They're saying out of bounds, Boston. I'll tell you, Larry Bird got creamed on that shot after the block as McHale comes into the ball game, and deservedly so, the crowd giving a few boos here as Maxwell goes out. As you look at Barkley, who made the block. Dennis Johnson pushed off with the left arm and got away with one, so that evens things out. Except that Bird would have been shooting free throws. Ainge to McHale, but Bird is there. Foul, Julius.
I don't know which one he was passing to, McHale or Bird. Sort of in between the two of them.
McHale, he was going to McHale, and Bird came up with it.
Intercepted it, huh?
Well, those offensive players have been known to do that, Bill. Billy Cunningham, you can see the intensity on his face. He said, you know, one thing, Rick, he said, I refuse now. He said, they're going to buy any really good clothes, he said, because I just ruined them. He said, he wishes that they had the rule they could wear a warm-up.
Bird just missed a free throw.
Uh-oh,
I thought
Larry.
you might let you know about that.
Larry, with that hand of his, you can't believe how bad his fingers look. His pinky finger on the shooting hand is all out of joint. He dislocated it twice last year, once this season. That index finger of his is just absolutely grotesque looking. All grotesque? Oh, it's just, I can't believe that he can shoot the ball as well as he does. Three-pointer, Barkley. Count it. Charles Barkley, who hit a big three-point shot in game number 4, has come up with another one here. He's got 6 points now in the ball game. 7:15 to go in the second period. Good ball movement by Parrish. Richardson had it, gave it back to Bird, and he lays it in. That was a gift. Larry Bird now with 7 points. 2-point lead for Philadelphia. 7 minutes to go in the half. Cheeks. Block, Parrish. Barkley to Moses. Watch out.
Good move by Moses.
It was. I thought he had a dunk, but Parrish recovered to make him change the shot. Moses now has 4 points only in the ball game. 4-point lead for Philadelphia. Little trapping by Philadelphia. As Johnson hits the 17-footer. Dennis Johnson now with 8. His first 2 points here in the second period. And they have a foul called on Danny Ainge.
Not a good foul.
The third team foul against Boston. First foul against Ainge. Make it the second team foul against Boston.
Now, Bird is overplaying Julius to go to his right. He's letting him go left.
And that's the way to play him. Force him out high, make him go to his left, and then cut that off and anticipate a spin back to the middle. That is basically the book on Julius in the set offense. Here out for the doctor. Bird knocks it loose. It'll be 76er ball, 9 seconds on the shot clock. They report on Ray Williams that they have a 20-second timeout by Philadelphia. Ray Williams has a slightly sprained right ankle. It looked not more than a slight sprain the way he was limping, and he is going to try to see if he can come back and play in the second half.
Yes, I told you to go to break.
Yes, you did. We were going to a break. You said that he'd be back playing in the second half. And
because the way he sprained it.
Didn't have a lot of weight on it.
If he has good ankles, that is not a severe sprain.
It hurts a lot for a while, then the pain subsides, and you're able to perform. This program is authorized under rights that are granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. Billy Cunningham saw his team jump out to a fairly big lead early in the game and have it sliced back to only 2 right now. It was 2 at the end of the first quarter. Both teams shooting 52% from the field right now as the shot clock goes down to 4. At 3, Cheeks lets fire. And Moses is going to be called for going over the top. And there have been a lot of very unhappy players as Moses picks up foul number 2.
Yes, now let's see if we can see the foul. The shot goes up. There's first contact with Moses. And there, yeah, they usually call that. Especially if you're an offensive player.
Barkley with a good block against McHale. This time he was on the other player. Back
And they threw it away, Philadelphia did.
Goes the Celtics, as it was a bad pass thrown behind Maurice Cheeks. Coming in as Andrew Toney and Bobby Jones for the 76ers. Going to the bench. Well, they're not letting Jones come in.
They only got 4 players. Now they can call it.
No, they're letting Toney. Toney came in. Julius didn't go out, but Bobby Jones was kept on the sideline. Shot clock gets down to 10. Good block down there by Toney on Dennis Johnson. DJ trying for a third try, but McHale gets it. Barkley made him change it. That's Parrish. Boston hammering the offensive boards. Billy Cunningham wants the timeout.
The Sixers can't let him seem like Boston with the boards that hard.
5:17 to go. First half. We're tied at 43. Great picture from a prior championship. Larry Bird with Red Auerbach's cigar in his hand and the Winston Churchill sign and the NBA trophy. That was the 81 championship when it was back in Houston. You see the points off of offensive rebounds. Look at the Celtics, 12-2, and that's where Billy said that they were killed in earlier ball games and he wanted to change things around. The conversion rate of Boston's on the offensive boards has been very, very detrimental to the cause of Philadelphia. Parrish would get another good defensive effort, a chance to Boston to take the lead.
Because they had Tim and Johnson and had Dennis Johnson inside.
This would be their first lead in the ball game. Should Celtics score. They've done this on 3 other occasions, fallen behind and fought back to take the lead as the shot clock goes to 6. McHale over Clement Johnson. Foul on Johnson. On those offensive rebounding conversions, Johnson with 3 fouls, Bill. In the prior games, Boston has been 9 for 12 twice, 13 for 14, and 11 for 14, converting those chances into baskets. That's an amazing accuracy and conversion rate.
And you know, this is figured in as part of their offense. It's not just something they come up with occasionally.
And it's that big front line of Boston that causes so much trouble. They're so much taller than the 76ers. McHale. See his statistics, puts the Celtics in the lead for the first time as they lead by 1 at the 4:40 mark here of the second period. McHale now with 7 points and 6 rebounds.
You have to wonder if Moses is all right because he is not seeing very much action.
Bobby Jones has been red hot in the last 2 games. Jones now with 8 points. Sixers back in the lead. Wide open, Ainge. That's the good ball movement the Celtics want.
You see that shot that Dennis had is the one they wanted to take, but that's not the one they should take. That extra pass or 2 will give you a much better shot. You have better rotation on the shot when you take it.
First 2 points for Ainge. Boston back in the lead as Moses will be coming back in. Toney blocked by Parrish. Robert Parrish having another outstanding game. Ainge to McHale, blocked by Johnson. It'll be Boston ball as Moses comes in. Clem Johnson leaves with 3 personal fouls.
Both these teams that have pretty good last line of defense. They've blocked quite a few.
Philadelphia has 14 fouls against them, so Boston will get to the free throw line on any foul from this point forward. Only 2 team fouls against the Celtics. McHale in and out. Rob. Barkley.
Fast break and no good. One of the few times you'll see Maurice Cheeks throw away a pass on the fast break.
Right. Not making the decision that would have been the best one at that time as Ainge misfires. Moses with a rebound.
And they throw it away. Now that's when the coach, you know, you come up with the ball, you make the good defensive moves and then throw it away, and that really hurts.
Boston trying to go for their biggest lead. The most they've led by is 1 point, and that's just been recently within the last few minutes. 3:18 now to go here in the first half. Dennis Johnson takes Toney and posts him up.
Larry Bird. Just an outstanding pass. And a great cut away from the ball by Dennis Johnson.
See 3 fouls against Toney. Richardson has come in for him. Now watch this play by Larry Bird.
Now there's the cut, and there's that great pass right down there, and a good shot by Dennis.
And as a defensive player, you must beat your man from the weak side of the floor, away from the ball, to the strong side, which is exactly what Andrew Toney did not do as Dennis Johnson misses that second free throw attempt. The 3-point Boston lead, their biggest lead of the game. We've got 3 minutes coming up now to go here in the first half. Cheeks on a good cut. That's going to be a foul on Larry Bird. Larry has not been too pleased with the foul.
Now, he stayed away from that blocking the shot. If he'd gone for the block, he may not have got the foul called on him. Now, if you watch the cut through, now you see he laid off.
And he got called for the body.
Right.
And had he made contact with
Now,
the
see,
ball, it
if
might not have been a
yes,
foul.
Right.
Which hand should he have used in that situation, the left or the right?
On that one, he should have used the right hand. Although the guy was trying to protect his ball with it. But using the other hand to protect it.
But credit Maurice Cheeks, because when Ainge went to double team, Cheeks made the cut to the basket. And that's what you should do when your man leaves you, because it creates problems, just as it did then for the Celtics. 2-point Boston lead. The last free throw by Cheeks was his 10th point. Shot clock down to 6. Good cut, McHale. Great pass, Harris.
Big side help was late getting there. Richardson was a little late getting there.
9 for McHale. Boston by 4. 2:30 to go, first half. Moses. Malone now with 6 points. Cheeks with great defense ties up Ainge, and Ainge knocks it off of Cheeks. It'll be Boston ball.
Cheeks is always dangerous. You have to be careful with him around the ball. Now here he is his ball. Now loses track of it. Now Ainge gets it here. Now Cheeks is standing out of bounds.
And it hit off of his hand. And Ainge's head was out of bounds. Official right on top of the play. Boston trying to go up by 4 or more. Richardson with the foul on Johnson. Penalty, it'll send DJ to the free throw line.
You know, as the playoffs progress, Dennis Johnson gets better.
Why do you think that is?
Well, he's an extraordinarily great competitor. And the better the competition, as he makes his adjustments as the game goes, he's more effective because he knows he's real smart and he knows the adjustments he has to make himself better.
And he missed his last 2 free throw attempts.
And his heart is as big as the great outdoors.
Dennis Johnson averaging 17 points a game in this series, shooting 46% from the field. He was shooting 88% from the free throw line, so it was unusual for him to miss those 2 free throws.
Well,
also 6 assists in the game.
He always says he's a better player at 43 to 46% than he is over 50.
We're inside of 2 minutes to go, first half. Boston by 3. Bobby Jones can't find the range this time, and McHale with the rebound. McHale as the trailer. Calling a foul on Barkley.
Another good pass by Dennis Johnson.
Watch yourself, Charles. You don't need a technical. It's a losing battle, believe me, from one who knows.
You mean when you have discussions with the referees, they're great debaters. They usually win the debate, huh?
That's exactly right. They make Daniel Webster look like he was a rookie.
As Charles Barkley is. And the Celtics are shooting bricks up there for free throws.
And they were shooting outstanding from the free throw line prior to this, Bill. They were shooting 84% for this series.
But I tell you what, I really believe, Rick, when they're playing the type of tough, hard-nosed basketball that they're playing, it's very difficult to shoot good free
Get a
throws.
little tired, and that has an effect. These 2 teams set an NBA record in the playoffs for 2 teams, averaged 93.2% in game number 1, 41 for 44, and we've not seen that, of course, here tonight. Moses inside battling. That's going to be a foul on Parrish.
Well, that was a bad call.
That look just tells it all. He's looking at him. You got to be kidding.
The reason I say it's a bad call, Parrish moved out of the way and Moses fell down. They were pushing each other. Let's take a look at it now. Look at them pushing each other now. Now you watch Parrish give up.
I agree. Robert was just trying to get out in front. It's 2 fouls on Parrish. 14 fouls now against the Sixers. 1:20 to go. First half. Moses can't get it to drop. Parrish with good defense. Larry Bird, who's back. Gets it to Parrish. Moses to the big play.
Good block.
4-on-3 break. Barkley. Offensive foul. They're not going to count the basket. Barkley couldn't believe it. They're going to call a technical. Watch out, Charles. Oh, he is so lucky. That's his last warning. That's it. No way. He pushed his luck just a little bit too far.
He had 2 chances now to get a technical in, and Slim just got on the bus.
Somebody better get him out of there and keep his mouth shut. They cannot afford to lose him. Too important a game for the Sixers. And Maurice Cheeks is doing just that as Billy Cunningham looks on. Julius Erving and Sam Williams are going to come in. Now let's watch Barkley. You'll see him come into the play. He's got the ball now. He goes up, leans into Johnson, causes the offensive foul. Now watch his reaction. There's the charge call. Now look at Barkley. 3 feet off the ground. And I can't believe he even got away with it after that. He's lucky he didn't bump him. That would have really cost him. And now he made one more motion after that, and that's where the tee came. Technical free throw shot was made.
I think that the referee showed great patience not to call it in the first 3 moves. Or the first 2 moves anyway.
Julius Erving with the foul over the back, and the Boston Celtics continue their parade to the free throw line here.
This is a very bad period of the game for the Sixers. Things are not going well, and they have to be careful at this point in the game right now. Very careful. Now, they have to come down next time, set up offensively, and get a good shot inside.
All right, Larry Bird. He's shooting 95% before this game from the free throw line. Only shooting 44% from the field. So it's obvious that that elbow with those chips floating around and that finger have affected his performance. Bird now with 9 points.
But I tell you, every player out there probably has something hurting right now.
45 seconds to go in the half. The 76ers find themselves now trailing by 6. Shot clock inside of 10. There's the double on Malone. Maurice Cheeks.
That's that big guy you want to leave. They needed that one real bad.
Final 30 seconds of the half. The Sixers should get the last shot. 4-point lead for Boston. 12 points for Maurice Cheeks. Bird with the block by Julius. Goes back to Dennis Johnson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. DJ with another big hoop for Boston. 13 for Dennis Johnson. 6 seconds to go in the half. 5. Sam Williams. Foul called inside. 1 second to go in the half. Sam Williams will be at the free throw line. Kevin McHale with his first foul.
Here's the play.
Right across the arm,
contact
on the forearm.
Little contact.
And that's a...
Now that's a good foul in that you take a guy with a dunk shot and you don't know how good a free throw shooter he is and make him make 2 shots.
And on Prudential Sports Update with Gary Miller, he's got a couple of guests. Mike Fratello, who's been around throughout the season, joining Gary. Also, Keith Lee from Memphis State will be there. Be interested to hear what Keith has to say about the upcoming draft on June the 18th. And we have come to the end of the first half. And once again, the Boston Celtics have fought from behind to take the lead. They lead the Philadelphia 76ers by 5.
Playoffs, brought to you in part by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
All season long and during the playoffs, we've been selecting the Miller Lite Most Valuable Player of the Game. And in conjunction with that award, we've been donating $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation on behalf of that player. With me now is Bill Anda, the Regional Director of the Miller Brewing Company, to make a presentation.
Thank you. On behalf of the Miller Brewing Company and Light Beer, I'm happy to present you with this check in the amount of $37,500.
Well, that really is terrific, and of course, the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation appreciates this. Is this made out to cash, by the way? I certainly hope not. No. Listen, Bill, I'd like to ask you, though, how does the Miller Brewing Company feel about the NBA this season?
We're very excited with Light's association with the NBA. It's been an outstanding season, especially when we come down with the playoffs, and can look forward to a great playoff between the Celtics and the 76ers.
Well, we certainly hope that Miller Brewing stays with the NBA for many years to come, and also your association with TBS is much appreciated, and we enjoyed having you along. Good luck to Miller Brewing Company, and thank you again for the wonderful donation to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation.
It's halftime. The Boston Celtics lead the Philadelphia 76ers 56-51. We're going to take a little pause, and then Gary Miller in the Prudential Sports Update will be coming along with his special guest, Mike.
Do you buy Prudential for life, health, auto, home? Get a piece of the rock. Prudential Insurance.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prudential Sports Update. I'm Gary Miller, joining you at halftime of our game in Boston, where the Celtics enjoy a 5-point lead over the Sixers in the Garden, 56-51. With us now to analyze this first-half action is Atlanta Hawks coach Mike Fratello. Mike, as always, the Sixers got off to a strong start. They had to. They're on the edge of elimination tonight.
Gary, their backs are to the wall. There is no tomorrow. They had to do it tonight. And once again, as has happened before, they came out real strong out of the gates in the beginning. Transition was the key, Maurice Cheeks. As we go to our first clip, we'll watch the 76ers once again on the glass, getting a rebound and starting the fast break. Here, Barkley leads it, kicks it out to Cheeks, and right now we see the key time for a point guard, the decision-making time. Does he give it up to Barkley or keep it himself? Larry Bird is faking at him right now, retreats, Cheeks keeps his dribble alive and splits both defenders, goes in for the score. This shows the experience in Cheeks and why he's such a great point guard, Gary, because that's the key area of the floor that you have to make the right decision, and he does it.
Sixers came out fired up tonight, but as always, the Celtics came back, and in that second period, they turned things around. What was the key for Boston?
Well, as has happened so many times, Philadelphia lets Boston back in after taking a big lead initially. And for Boston, it's easy baskets. They haven't gotten many of them, but when we roll the clip now, we'll notice this is an example of one of the easy scores that you just can't let Boston have. Here's an example of Ainge coming over and trapping Julius when Julius was not looking. The trap, unexpected, causes a turnover. Loose ball on the floor, Larry Bird comes up with it. Moses trips over Bird, and the experience shows now. Parrish knows his man is down. He gives it up, and now just outruns him down the floor, Gary. The experience of a veteran team, veteran players. In the lane, they find Parrish, and now look at this mismatch. Andrew Toney on the back of Robert Parrish. There's just no way we can give up these kind of baskets and expect to win. It's a critical thing, the easy scores.
Mike, it's a 5-point difference right now. 2 technical fouls in the first half, and that's about the difference in the game. It's got to be frustrating for a coach. I know the players are keyed up, but when Charles Barkley gets a technical at the end of the half in a close game, that's got to be frustrating for you to give up easy points.
Well, it shows the emotional level of this game right now. Philadelphia knows that this is it. And if they let Boston back in one more time tonight, it's all over. They pack their bags.
Okay, Hawks coach Mike Fratello, thanks very much again for being with us. And if the Celtics do wrap it up this evening, they may also know who they'll play in the championship series. The Lakers can clinch the West with a victory over Denver. That'll be later tonight in Los Angeles. Up next on our show, one of the most dominant players in college basketball. Keith Lee tells us what kind of pro he thinks he'll be. Memphis State All-American Keith Lee, one of the most dominant players in college basketball during his 4-year tenure at Memphis. At 6'10", Keith Lee has grabbed more rebounds than any player in the Metro Conference this season, working both the offensive and defensive glass. He helped lead the Tigers to the Final Four this year, and with 21 or more wins since he arrived, they have finished in the top 10 in the final polls in each of his years there. Coach Dana Kirk says he has the greatest hands in the game, and he uses them not only to score and rebound, but as an adept passer as well. Lee leaves behind many new pages in the Memphis State record book, the all-time leader in points, rebounds, block shots, and minutes played. He is the leading scorer in the history of the Metro Conference. Keith, welcome. That's a pretty impressive record, and Coach Kirk also says that after Patrick Ewing, you will be the biggest impact player in the NBA draft this year. What are your feelings? The draft is less than a month away now. How do you look forward to the pros at this point?
Then right now, I'm happy to be in Atlanta, and by me visiting the Atlanta Hawks, it's been a great pleasure to visit them, and I'm let the Lord take me and guide me in the right direction. And without him, I don't think I can be here and be the player I am. So I'm gonna let him do the work for me, and I'm gonna stand by side and just take it as it goes.
Atlanta, one of 7 teams that has those draft picks out of the lottery. Of course, you'll be visiting other teams as well. How does that feel as a young player? Now, you don't know, you could go anywhere from Atlanta to Seattle to New Jersey, for that matter. How do you make preparations for that?
Then I just, whoever want to invite me in, I'm just here to go, and I'd be welcome to visit whoever want me to come to their place.
Another guy who might have some say over what you do in the next few years is the coach of whatever team drafts you. And there's a lot of talk that you played center mainly at Memphis State, although you did play some forward this year with William Bedford on hand. But you might be asked to play a lot more forward in the NBA. How will that adjustment be for you?
Then I think I'll be the right man to play forward if that's what the coach want me to deal with, and I'll be ready to play. How many minutes I have to play, I'll be ready to play and be ready to listen to whatever the coach want me to do.
What do you think the biggest adjustment will be for you? You've watched professional basketball. You were a dominant player in college, but almost all the guys in pro basketball are going to be of superb caliber. What's the biggest adjustment you're making right now as you prepare to get ready to play professional basketball?
Then mainly they play 82 games, and I'm just going to try to adjust myself and get in the best shape I can get in to play that many games, and mainly listen to my coach, and I'll be playing against better players than I did in college.
Keith, a great final season, and one of the problems you had near the end of the year was foul trouble. You're probably looking forward to the fact that you'll have 6 fouls in pro basketball.
Then I think the NBA game is more physical than the college game, and the refs will let you play in the NBA.
Okay, Keith Lee, our special guest here on Halftime. Thanks for coming by, Keith. And, of course, he looks to be one of the top players picked in the NBA draft, which you'll be able to see right here on the Superstation. Coming up Tuesday, June 18th, we'll have complete opening round coverage of the NBA draft, and we'll have second-half action from Boston Garden. That'll do it for this edition of the Prudential Sports Update. For Hawks coach Mike Fratello and Keith Lee, I'm Gary Miller. Now let's send back to Boston Garden with Rick Barry and Bill Russell.
Thank you very much, Gary. Okay, Bill, 24 seconds for the Philadelphia 76ers to try and stay alive. What must they do?
Minutes.
Minutes. I'm sorry. It's like a 24-second clock.
Hey,
Might be down to 24 seconds if
it's
they get
important.
right back.
It's very important that the Sixers stay close beginning the first half of the third quarter. Now, they have to be very careful. They might have let that game slip away in the second quarter. There was a bad sequence there for them, and they seem to be in disarray. And their substitution pattern has drastically changed. There's no order to it at this point. And so the way they're playing is without a plan.
Well, we're going to see if Billy can come up with a plan, because he's talked to us again before the ball game and said he was most concerned with the fact that his team has not played well at the start of the third quarter. So critical time coming up for the 76ers. We'll see how they respond to it in just a moment.
America's Super Shootout, the NBA playoffs, brought to you in part by Honda, makers of the Prelude.
Getting ready for the final 24 minutes. I don't want to give the 76ers an insurmountable task to come back 5 points now in 24 seconds. And I don't want to shortchange our viewers either, because we've got 24 minutes of exciting basketball coming up. As we look at the first half statistics, you can see both teams getting back down into that 40% range of shooting, and that's been the case throughout the series. The free throws, the Celtics really doing very poorly there, but the rebounds is really where the big edge is. They've been doing a marvelous job on that conversion, especially on the offensive rebounds.
I talked to Ray Williams at half, and he's a little not sure about it. He thinks he's playing it pretty good, or pretty bad, I should say. And so he may or may not see action second half. Now the Sixers, with his lineup, is an excellent lineup, and they're going to have to play tough. And I see they're starting out with a full-court press, which is a good idea. They're going to have to play tough, especially the first 6 minutes of this third quarter.
And Billy Cunningham wanting to get some aggressiveness in his ball club, because he felt they were a little flat in the third periods and other ball games, coming out with the pressure. It's Julius Erving, Cheeks,
and even if you
Tony.
don't come up with steals or anything like that, you pick up a better rhythm for your offense when you use a full-court press or a hard-nosed defense.
Barkley and Moses Malone to finish out the starting lineup, as John Vanek talking things over with Billy Cunningham, trying to, I don't know exactly what they're doing here. I'll try and find out. It's Bird, Ainge, Parrish, Johnson, and McHale. Same starting lineups for both ball clubs. Sixers, remember, or if you just joined us, jumped out to an early lead against the Celtics, and the Celtics, for the 4th time in 5 games, fought back to take the lead.
Dennis Johnson loses the handle. Shot clock's down to 5, and they leave DJ wide open. Malone with the rebound. Malone now with 8 rebounds in the ball game. Not much movement on the Sixers offense right here. A bit stagnant. Shot clock down to 7. Malone with a fadeaway from the baseline, out of bounds over the top of the basket.
Now they're not moving. Now when Moses plays center, now we've talked about this in some of the previous games, is that when the ball goes to him, that's the end of the play. They expect him to shoot. But the way the Celtics are playing defense, the double teaming, he's going to have to make some passes, and they're going to have to move without the ball, which they didn't do in that sequence.
When you saw the type of shot that they got, not a good shot at all, because they had no offensive cutting and moving. As you saw McHale cutting in. Malone touched it, but McHale hit it last. It'll be Philadelphia ball. Billy Cunningham, you see at the top of your screen calling out the play that he would like to have run. Try to get some more motion into this Philadelphia offense. Shot clock again ticking down to 7. Malone had it knocked away by Ainge. And a very difficult shot indeed by Moses Malone. Malone now with 8 points in the ball game. 10:30.
It's nice to have a player that when your play breaks down, he can put it in anyway.
Parrish. Barkley made him change it. Moses with another rebound. He's got 9 now. That's Tony. 3 against 3. 3 against 5 now. And now Julius and Moses join the play as
Good steal by Dennis
takes
Johnson.
it away. Third, back to DJ.
Oh, great play by Dennis Johnson. But he crossed over and shot that left-handed.
And he does that routinely.
That was a good steal he made on the to come up with the ball.
Johnson has 15 points as Cheeks comes one in from just inside the 3-point area. Cheeks has 14 in the ball game. 3-point lead knocked away by Barkley as Kevin McHale hits the deck. Tony over Bird, and quickly it's a 1-point Boston lead. Pressure by Cheeks. Ainge from Johnson. Malone another rebound. Bird with the interception. Johnson with the basket. 17 for Dennis Johnson. He's already got his average, and we're only 3 minutes into the 3rd period. Billy Cunningham again calling out the offensive play. Little 2-man game, Malone and Tony. They double team Tony. Malone's open, but he can't hit. McHale with the rebound. Bird wide open right side. 2-point shot. Ainge. Maurice Cheeks let Danny Ainge slide inside. 4 points for Danny Ainge. You don't expect him to get an offensive lay-in.
Now, Cunningham would probably call timeout because that was a bad sequence also.
And you're right, but it's a 20-second timeout. Now, what would you try and have your ball club do to try and turn this little sequence around?
Well, they didn't get the last shot they got was they didn't execute their half-court offense very well. That was not a good shot that Moses took. There's a rebound by Ainge in the left-handed shot. If I was there and I was on the left side, there's no way I would have shot that ball right-handed.
Yeah, well, you're a lefty, Bill.
That's what I mean.
Let's go. Give me a
But
break.
he took that ball and shot left-handed. There's no way I would have done that. Here's Ray Williams trying his ankle out to see if it's going to be able to go the second half. Because if he's limping, he's a good player, but he's not so good that he can go out there and have triple with Cheeks and Tony. I can tell you that.
That's for sure. Plus, he's liable to hurt himself doing something else because you run around and you can't run normally. You start favoring things. You start pulling other muscles and create other problems. As you see the turnovers, it's now even. But the turnover points are not even, with the 5-point edge going to the Boston Celtics. They lead by 5 points, so right there, if you like to think about it as a differential, it's there. Another turnover. Ainge to Parrish. Malone comes back. Tony is there. Barkley keeps it alive. The Sixers come back. Good hustle
Robert
by
Parrish should have
Malone.
held that one up. Although he had a step on. After he saw the defense there, he should have pulled up.
Julius with the left hand. McHale with the rebound. McHale has Barkley on him now. That's not the matchup that they want. Malone with yet another rebound here in the third period. 7:45 to go, third period. 76ers still trailing by 5, but they trailed by at the half. They had led by 2 at the end of the first period, and Dennis Johnson picks up the foul.
Celtics foul was on man number 3. Dennis Johnson is
Third personal foul on Dennis Johnson.
First of the team.
No problems yet. Pick up that fourth one, though, and that could hurt the Celtics very dearly because Johnson has had a marvelous game thus far.
Now, Sixers need to come up with a good shot inside.
And Julius takes a 17-footer, and Ainge with the rebound. There was no one underneath, really, the offensive rebound that time for Philadelphia. McHale.
Move by McHale. He sure took his time. It looked like he took his time anyway.
12 points from McHale as he went right around Barkley. Billy Cunningham calling out the offensive play again. 7 minutes to go, third period. Good move by Barkley. It's going to be a foul on Dennis Johnson, his fourth. Timeout, Boston, 6:57. We've got left here in the third period, and the 76ers are now trailing by 7.
And they'll probably bring, I think, Quinn Buckner will probably have to bring him in.
Rick Barry back with Bill Russell as Charles Barkley gets ready to go to the free throw line. You see the inside scoring, Bill. Boston 40-26. They've dominated in there. 63% of their offense has come inside and only 46% for Philadelphia. And as we've seen all season long, the team that gets inside is invariably the team that wins.
Now, Dennis Johnson is one of those players that can play with fouls. But this is he's going to be careful because sometimes they come in bunches.
Yes, and he's gotten 2 quick ones, and he's still in the ball game. Barkley finally gets a free throw to drop. 7 points for Charles Barkley. He had 15 points in Game 4, along with those 20 rebounds. Not as big a factor so far in this game.
They're going to call the
Bird
foul
and
on
Julius were battling to come over the screen by Parrish, and Doctor was called for holding.
They after 5 or 6 game series, they really know each other because they've been in constant contact almost all the time they're on the court.
Wide open, Bird lost Julius. Great pass, and we got a foul underneath. Barkley better watch his jumping around. He'll be out of here. He's already gotten 1 technical for his play.
Johnson jumped around like imitating Barkley.
Draws a response from the crowd.
Let's see now.
That's a great pass. That was a pretty darn good play. He didn't touch him. If anything, the foul was on Irving.
Yes. Barkley had a legitimate complaint on that one.
Larry Bird having a very difficult time scoring here tonight. 10 points. Got 11, but the fourth period.
For him in the Celtics, shooting is only one part of his game,
right.
although he's a great shooter.
He does so much, and fourth period is when you better watch out for him offensively. He's got 11 points in the ball game. That's Andrew Toney, and that's a good shot. Nice inside shot. Andrew Toney now with 10.
He took advantage of the fact that Dennis has 4 fouls and can't play him as tough as he was playing him, say, 5 minutes ago.
You see the score there, 66-60, favor of Boston. Parrish counted if it goes.
That's the kind of bounce I used to get, Rick. Around the rim and out.
Now that's 4 fouls on Toney to go along with the 4 fouls of Dennis Johnson.
Let's take another look at that. Here's Parrish. And there's Toney. Let's see if we can see this. Yeah, there's the foul right there. It was close.
And there is the unfortunate roll for Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics. Robert now with 12 points. He also has 8 rebounds.
I'll tell you, I think that one of the things that Parrish is having a good series, but I think some of that is due to the fact that because of foul, anticipating fouls, the Sixers put Charles Barkley on him rather than Moses, and he's been better able to play.
They had a mismatch inside. Barkley was wide open with Ainge finally coming over. His Cheeks hits from the outside. Maurice Cheeks now with 16 points.
And the best relief man out there on either team, I'd say. for taking that shot when you run the clock down and you got somebody.
5:40 to go, third period. Robert Parrish continues to roll along, 14 points. Back up now to a 7-point Boston lead. Inside, they've got a foul. Malone battled with Parrish for position. Robert picks up the foul.
Well, Robert Parrish is not complaining, so but he never complains anyway. He doesn't say very much.
Billy Cunningham has decided to take a timeout here at the Boston Garden. His team trails by 7. Reminds you that on Friday, America's team, the Braves, will be going home to play against the Pittsburgh Pirates, 7:35 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm sure they'll be happy to get home, having lost 8 straight games on the road. They've were swept by St. Louis. They lost this afternoon 5-3, so the Braves probably very happy to get back into Atlanta.
And out of St. Louis.
We wish them luck. And the 76ers are going to need a little bit of that along with some good playing. 5:25 to go, third quarter. Boston by 7. Malone, Irving kept it alive. Parrish with another rebound. Parrish, who's averaging 13.5 rebounds a game in this series, has been playing marvelously tonight and throughout the series. As Ames, biggest lead of the game for Boston. They lead by 9.
Jackson said, no, good shot.
Ames with 6 points. And again, the third period, not going well for the 76ers. Billy Cunningham's concern was justified. Bobby Jones will come back in as Julius Irving hits one for 19. That's 12 points for the Doctor.
If you work that clock 16, 18 seconds and end up with a 6-point jump shot, that's not good.
No, it isn't. Julius Irving now has 12 points. As I say, he had 8 in the first period, but only 4 points since then, 2 in each quarter. Shot clock is down to 6. At 3, Ainge on the penetration. Parrish kept it alive. McHale is there. Credit Robert Parrish for keeping that one alive. McHale now, 14. McHale has 11 rebounds in the ball game, leads the Boston team. Parrish right behind him. Three-pointer. Barkley counted. Barkley 2 for 2 from three-point range. Back to a 6-point lead for Boston. 3:50 to go, third quarter. Scott Wedman will be coming in for Boston. Bobby Jones and Clement Johnson for Philadelphia. Danny Ainge from 19.
Looks like he's small upon the ring.
8 for Danny Ainge. Boston again, leading by 8.
And what Dennis Johnson's trying to do, he's trying to keep the ball away from Maurice Cheeks as much as possible, make the other guys run the offense.
Doctor with an outstanding move, couldn't get the drop, and Parrish does it again on the boards. McHale, triple team, loses it out of bounds, but it's still going to be Boston ball.
He was triple team, but he had got through 2 of them.
Bird goes to the bench as Wedman comes in. Cedric Maxwell will be coming in also on the next dead ball. He's going to the score table now. Shot clock inside of 10 for Boston. DJ tried to pass it to McHale. Last touch by the 76ers. Again, Boston will have it with 5 seconds on the shot clock as Maxwell comes in. And Kevin McHale goes to the bench.
Almost a great play by Dennis Johnson again.
See Barkley getting a rest on the bench. Jones came in for him. And Clement Johnson also into the game. Malone stays in. Malone leading the way on the rebounding for Philadelphia. Cheeks trying to get something happening. Takes it on his own. Draws the foul. And Maurice Cheeks is so important, Bill.
Yes.
Because what happened in game number 3 is they kept the ball. Boston did defensively out of Cheeks' hand. He only had 1 assist in that ball game, and that is not what the Sixers need. They need Maurice Cheeks involved in the offense, running the show.
Well, that's what Dennis Johnson was doing. I noticed him playing without the ball. So that Maurice told the other guard to bring it up. And Dennis Cheeks keeps playing without the ball, but he can't get it back, so he doesn't run the offense because he's probably one of the 2 or 3 best decision makers in the league on whether to shoot, whether to penetrate, or whether to pass the ball, and who to pass it to.
That's Quinn Buckner you're looking at. He came in for Dennis Johnson. He goes to the bench with 17 points, 5 assists, and also 4 personal fouls. And Clint Richardson has come in for Andrew Toney for Philadelphia.
And looks like they're not going to try Ray Williams, looks like second half.
Cheeks has 18 for Philadelphia. 6-point lead for Boston. They led by 5 at the half. Philadelphia led by 2 at the end of the first period. Scotty Wedman. Done such a marvelous job for the Celtics this year, filling in for Bird when Bird has been injured. That's good ball movement by Philadelphia as Malone goes inside. No foul. Richardson keeps it alive and scores. Good effort by Clint Richardson. He's got 4.
Now that hurt when they got the shot missed, and then they end up throwing the ball away in the front court, in the back court.
Wedman goes off the screen by Parrish. That's going to be a foul on Clement Johnson. As he switched out and picked up Wedman and gave him a forearm chuck, kind of like a defensive back.
That's the 4th foul on Clement Johnson.
4th team foul against Philly, 4 against Boston. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Parrish. Robert Parrish with 16 points. Boston by 8. Not a good shot by Richardson, but Clement Johnson is there. That's going to be the foul on Maxwell. That was a big break for Philadelphia, Bill, because that was not
a good shot. And this is another one of those periods of the game where the Sixers have to be very careful, because with the lead being what it is, if they let the Celtics run off 5 or 6 straight, that doesn't take very much where this game is going, because this is a tough, hard-nosed game, and 5 points is a lot of points.
Clement Johnson, chance to cut into that Boston lead. Cuts it to 7. Johnson's first point of the ball game. He's seen very limited action in this series. Played 8 minutes in game 4 and didn't score. And he's been scoreless in 3 of the 4 games in this series. A lot of problems with the nerve or something in his back, and missed quite a few games during the regular season towards the latter part of it. They were happy to get him back for the playoffs. Cuts it to a 6-point lead for the Boston Celtics. 1:40 to go here in the third period. Boston running that half-court offense that they do so well. Robert Parrish again. 18 for the Chief. 1:20 to go. Boston up again by 8. At 9 as Maurice Cheeks hits from outside. And again, that's not the kind of shot that Billy Cunningham, I'm sure, would like to have his team taking. 20 points from Maurice Cheeks.
Well, that wasn't a bad shot, because when he very rarely takes a bad shot. They were trying to get inside. And as I said, he's probably the best safety relief player out there.
Ainge with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Bobby Jones battles with Wedman and comes away with it. Cheeks will probably take this all away. And Maurice Cheeks doing it all. 22 points from Maurice. Cuts it to a 4-point lead. 9 seconds to go in the third period. Wedman just inside 3-point range. Johnson with the rebound. Final 28 seconds. Cheeks again. Threw it away behind Bobby Jones. He wanted the foul. He felt he was fouled. You can see the look in his face. He thought that Wedman had fouled him. Celtics can play for the last shot. Billy Cunningham asking the official, where is the foul? Pleading a lost cause there. 22nd timeout being taken by K.C. Jones to discuss what they would like to do in these final 11 seconds.
Well, for one thing, you know you want to do is get the last shot. And you want to take it, try to get a good shot so that if it's missed, you have a chance for an offensive rebound. But they don't have time, if they get a clean rebound, to go down and get a good shot.
So they basically want to come off and get a shot in the air with perhaps 3 seconds to go.
So that if there's a chance for an offensive rebound, you're there. But it's not long enough for them to get the ball and go down court and get a good shot. But there's always seen them making the miracle shot, which you don't want to happen also. You know, that three-pointer from the backcourt.
And this could be a very important possession for the 76ers, I mean, for the Boston Celtics, and good defensive play right now by the 76ers would be most helpful to cut it down to a...
They have a very good defensive and a very physical team on the court right now, the Sixers do.
And they've got Buckner out of the game as Larry Bird is coming in. He'll be taking the ball inbounds. Julius Erving coming back in. He'll be guarding Bird. Now, the man you have to be so careful about on an out-of-bounds play is the man taking the ball out of bounds. And Bird is usually one who'll come off of a couple of different screens to get himself open after the play, so we'll try and keep an eye on Bird and see if that's what they go to. Here comes Bird off the screen on the left. But Ainge decided to do it by himself. Jones with the rebound, and just what you said, Bill, they got the shot off. There was a chance for the offensive boards, but not enough time for Philadelphia. But they have cut it down to only a 4-point deficit. We have 12 minutes left. The Sixers season riding on it. Back with Bill Russell, the final 12 minutes perhaps for the Philadelphia 76ers, but Billy Cunningham had his team kind of weather the storm there. They're in pretty good shape.
They're in a real good position right now. 4 points down.
Kevin McHale into the game. Parrish is on the bench. It's McHale, Maxwell, Wedman, Bird, and Dennis Johnson for Boston. For Philadelphia, it's Moses Malone, Clement Johnson, Bobby Jones, Andrew Toney, and Clint Richardson as Cheeks gets a rest.
Number 3, Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson.
Now, if Dennis can avoid the fifth foul, first few minutes, and is able to play most of the score, they should be in pretty good shape.
He's guarding a man, Toney, who also has 4 fouls. Quickly inside, Malone, count it if it goes.
Serge's foul was on number 32.
2 fouls now on Kevin McHale.
His second personal foul.
And the Sixers did what you should do at the time. Just get that ball into Moses. Because if they get the ball to Moses reasonably consistent, that'll cause more problems for the Celtics than just his man. Because when they have to double team him, then they that really opens up the Celtic, stretches the Celtic defense.
And they did it the smart way by reversing the ball and swinging it, not just trying to force it in on one side. Much better movement that time. And again, pressure by the 76ers as they trail now by only 2. Just started the 4th period if you've joined us. Bird from 19 off the glass. Well, Larry, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Even though you are a great player, you take those. And you notice how he didn't even smile about that. He just like, hey, fellas, that's the way I planned it.
And he got hit.
Malone had it blocked by McHale, but Clement Johnson kept it alive. Bobby Jones can't find the range. Dennis Johnson with the rebound. Boston leading by 4. We played the first, coming up on the first minute. Gone here in the 4th and final period. Shot clock down to 8. 1-on-1, Bird and Jones. Wedman keeps it alive. Richardson for the 76ers as McHale gets up off the deck. They wait for Moses to come in. Here he comes. They're calling it illegal defense against the Boston Celtics. Now, one of the reasons that might have been, and Kevin McHale's arguing because the Sixers did not have 5 men down there. So one man is free to roam because the other man hadn't come down the court yet. But it's, again, to no avail, so they don't lose anything by it as Maxwell goes out and Parrish.
In fact, it might be just as well because Toney had to move to the hoop. It might have picked up a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer.
Toney kicks it back out to Richardson. 3 seconds inside. They never got out of there. He can't get it to drop. Johnson keeps it alive, and Toney gets another shot at it. Fakes out a couple of guys, gets knocked down. No foul. Malone's there, and they finally get a foul.
The Sixers had another opportunity that time. Here's another look at the sequence. There's the
foul. Parrish over the back. 4 personals on Robert Parrish. He joins Dennis Johnson and Andrew Toney with 4 fouls in the ball game, and also Clement Johnson. Malone has 11 points now to go with 16 rebounds. Moses averaging 19.5 points in this series and 13-plus rebounds, but he's shooting only 42% from the field as the Sixers come back with a little pressure. Richardson with the big steal. Foul, Wedman. The Sixers now have a chance to tie it at 83. 10-11 to go in the ball game. Danny Ainge back in.
That was a bad executed play.
Richardson got a hand in, kept it loose, and he actually got kicked off of somebody's foot. It looked like his own foot as Wedman comes over the back for the foul. So credit Clint Richardson with an outstanding defensive effort. Scott Wedman, who was playing the guard position, is on the bench as Ainge has come in. Richardson now with 5 points, a chance again to tie it at 83. The Sixers have fought back. Ainge. Boy, I tell you, that is tough to do. Sitting on the bench, coming in, having to take a shot like that, and hitting nothing but net. I have to admire players who can do it. Danny Ainge. That was his 9th and 10th points as the Sixers try to tie it again. Tony gave about 6 different fakes, but the Celtics wouldn't go for it. They come up with it. Excellent defense. Johnson gets the steal as Ainge hits the backstop, and Johnson, the other one with the rebound. The steal. Dennis Johnson in the pass. What a big play by DJ. 19 for DJ.
Those are what you call big plays. And guys can pull those plays off when the game is on the line.
4-point swing in favor of the Sixers. Andrew Toney. Johnson was just shoved out of the way. No foul. Bird with the rebound. Ainge tried to get it to Parrish, but it was knocked out of bounds by Andrew Toney. Maurice Cheeks and Julius Erving will be coming in. Casey Jones, who has done such a marvelous job with this ball club. His laid-back approach is just absolutely perfect for this group of young men who really know what the game is about. Shot clock inside of 10. Cheeks against Ainge. Doctor's trailing. And Ainge, and they want that 2-shot foul rule, but they say he went for the ball because he was on the side of Maurice Cheeks.
Not behind him. You got to be behind him.
Good smart play by Danny Ainge.
Although Cheeks will make the 2 free throws.
Maurice still didn't like it.
I would expect Cheeks to there's a foul.
Played on the ball. He actually had a hand and knocked it away. Good smart play and an aggressive play by Danny Ainge. Maurice with a chance to cut it to a 2-point Boston lead. Cheeks with 22 points in the game. He leads the way for Philadelphia. The next closest player has 12, Malone and the Doctor. .40 to go. Boston leading by 2. Philadelphia 0 for 5 from the field so far in the 4th period. Boston 3 for 5. Shot clock is at 2. At 1. At the buzzer, Dennis Johnson. Parrish. 20 for Robert Parrish. Boston now 4 for 7 from the field. Philadelphia still has not scored a field goal. They're 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Boston has yet to shoot a free throw in this 4th period. 8 minutes to go. Johnson with yet another great defensive play. 3 against 2. Johnson to Ainge. Cheeks got a hand on it. Bounce pass would have been the one that time, Bill. And it was last touched by the Boston Celtics. So a big play by Maurice Cheeks. Erving from 14.
Good shot.
Cheeks got a hand on that one as well. But you saw Boston with that 2-point lead. There's the double team. Good ball movement. Wide open is Ainge.
He's throwing it up.
12 for Danny Ainge. Back to a 4-point Boston lead. 7:20 to go in the game. Billy Cunningham.
rooting on his team. Ainge is 6 for 9, and Billy has called a timeout. You see the scoring leaders for Philadelphia and for Boston. A little more balance on the part of Boston, but Bill, this game's still been decided inside. Second chance points, 20 points for Boston, only 8 for Philadelphia. Total inside points, 50 for Boston, 30 for Philadelphia.
And still 4-point ball game.
7:19 to go in the game. The 76ers will give it everything they've got. And they will need everything that they have. Shot clock is at 7. Wide open is the Doctor from 17. And McHale with the rebound.
There's two great players sitting next to each other. There's Dennis Johnson and Maurice Cheeks, I want to tell you.
Two of the best all-around players in the game. Clock. Clement Johnson against McHale. DJ, how tough he played Cheeks, even with 4 fouls. Tony to Clement Johnson on the cut. There's the illegal defense. That's a technical foul now against Boston as Barkley comes into the game.
I think it's on Kevin McHale.
That is a technical foul on the Celtics.
Let's see if we can see where there's Kevin McHale coming there, and there's Dennis Johnson inside the line. And I think it's on there's Robert Parrish.
Well, Dennis Johnson was in the paint, actually, at the top of the key. You're not supposed to be in the paint for any more than 3 seconds, and it probably was against DJ. Technical free throw is made by Andrew Toney, who has 11 points now. And there you see Barkley, who's been sitting for a long time on the bench. He came in for Clement Johnson. 3-point lead for Boston, 6:35 to go in the ball game. The Doctor still can't get it to drop. He was shooting 5 for 9 prior to his last 2 attempts. Shot clock already inside of 10 seconds for Boston, and they haven't even started their offense. And Larry Bird draws the foul. It'll be against Julius Erving, I believe. No, it's yes. First personal against Philly. Boston in the penalty already with 6 minutes to go in the ball game. That could be very critical coming down the stretch in a close ball game. Wide open. Bird off the screen. Julius tried to fight through 2 picks, and somebody should have jumped out. He couldn't get through.
I told him it was coming. Switch.
15 for Larry Bird. Back up to the 5-point lead that Boston held at the end of the first half. Shot clock down inside of 10 for the 76ers. Both teams running a deliberate half-court offense. Tony to Cheeks. Maurice Cheeks has been so outstanding tonight. 26 for Maurice. 3-point Boston lead. Second team foul against Philadelphia. 3 team fouls, 3 personals against Moses. New 24-second for Boston. Goes the double team. Quickly the rotation, Cheeks to Ainge. Good ball movement as McHale is open from 16. Rebound Tony. Cheeks falls down on his own. Tony from 15. Andrew Toney makes it a 1-point Boston lead. 4:50 to go in the game. And this is what playoff basketball is all about. The NBA at its best. 2 of the best teams. Battling down to the wire. Shot clock at 7. Triple team on McHale. He can't get it to drop. Parrish with the foul over the back. That'll be 5 fouls on Robert Parrish.
The Celtics didn't get a good shot the last 2 times down.
And the penalty, and this is where we talked about how it could hurt the Boston Ball Club. Malone with the chance to put the 76ers ahead. They have not led since early in the ball game when they jumped out to a big lead, and the Celtics fought back in the second period. They had a 2-point lead to Philadelphia at the end of one. The Celtics took over in the second period, led by 5 at the half, by 5 at the three-quarter mark, and Philadelphia has now tied it at 93 with 4:31 to go in the ball game. Moses Malone has 13 points and a ton of rebounds. And we stay tied at 93. Irving goes for the steal and pays the price. 17 for Larry Bird. Starting to come alive offensively in the fourth period. He loves the fourth period. He said, that's my period. Very inside. Barkley loses it. Costly turnover for Philadelphia. McHale. Two-shot foul.
Heads-up play by Bird.
That was on Maurice Cheeks. That's 3 team fouls against Philadelphia. 3:47 now to go in the game.
Now here's the play here. There's the old hit there. A couple of them. Good acting by McHale also.
Into the game, Bobby Jones for defensive purposes to play Larry Bird as Julius Irving goes to the bench.
Well, I don't say that's defensive purposes because when the ball comes back into play, Philadelphia will have the ball.
Exactly, but they're still in the game to play a little bit of defense in there. I don't know. Julius didn't seem very happy going to the bench. Not happy at all. Kevin McHale has 16 points, 13 rebounds. Boston leads again by 4. 3:40 to go in the game. Consecutive times. Knocked out of bounds. Bobby Jones hit it off of Parrish. It'll be Philly ball. Clint Richardson coming into the ball game. Here's the play again. There's the long pass by Johnson. Robert Parrish couldn't quite handle it, and he touches it.
Right.
Call by John Bannock.
Yes.
Tony to the bench as Richardson comes in. So unusual to see Julius Irving sitting on the bench in crunch time, Bill. 3:20 to go in the ball game, and the doctor on the bench. Good cut, Jones.
Good move. Good pass by Moses.
10 for Bobby Jones. It's back to a 2-point Boston lead. We've got 3:05 to go. Philadelphia battling for their lives, trying to stay alive. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Of course, they trail 3-1 in this series. Inside of 3 minutes. Shot clock at 7. It's at 4. With 2, McHale can't hit it. Richardson, big rebound for the 76ers. A chance to tie it. Malone. McHale with the rebound, and the entire coaching staff was up off the bench for Philadelphia, except for Jack McMahon didn't get up. Al Domenico, the trainer, was there. They wanted a foul. They didn't get it. We got a timeout. 2:26 to go. Boston leading by 2. Sellout crowd at Boston Garden, urging on their heroes.
I guess it's been proven now that Philadelphia didn't come here to just show up.
For sure. Fourth quarter field goals. Amazingly, Philadelphia 4 for 12 for only 33%. Boston 7 for 14. Yet they're right in the game, trailing by 2. They've been 10 of 11 from the free throw line, 2 for 2 for Boston. So the penalty and the free throws have kept Philadelphia alive. Shot clock at 7 for Boston. That's Richardson on Johnson. It's down to 4. Bird can't get it to drop. McHale keeps it alive. Block Barkley. No, they've got a foul inside.
Another big play. Different guy this time, McHale.
Moses Malone wanted a foul over the back. He's talking to John Bannock now. As you see, Bobby Jones who picked up the foul. And there's Moses. He just got done discussing with Bannock. He got pushed out of bounds, it looked like, wound up off the court underneath the basket when the hail went up.
And the Celtics have not shot good free throws tonight.
They certainly have not. They were, of course, shooting, well, I told you earlier, they were shooting 84% prior to this game.
I think that they haven't shot their free throws very well.
3-point lead for Boston. We've got 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the game. Billy Cunningham on the other side, calling out the plays inside of 2 minutes. Malone battling Ainge with another big play. Philadelphia is killing themselves. They have turned the ball over 3 of the last 4 times down the court. And you can't do that against any team, let alone a great team like the Celtics.
Well, what happened was they know they were going into Moses. They're going into Moses, and Danny Ainge had a chance to gamble because they weren't looking anyplace else.
Julius Erving coming back in with Tony.
I think if Murray Cheeks had been making the pass in, he wouldn't have made that pass.
Timeout, Philadelphia. The ovation that you are listening to has not stopped since we went away on our break. They know that there is 1 minute and 41 seconds left in this ball game. And if it stays the way it's been going, the Boston Celtics will be that much closer to becoming the last team to do it. Repeat as champions. 1969, Bill Russell coached and played on that team, and they will have that opportunity if they can play and hold this lead with 1:41 to go. They lead by 3. Dennis Johnson is at the free throw line.
We have a whole lot of basketball left to be played in this game.
Pointed out before we went to the break, Julius Erving has come back in along with Andrew Toney. The starting lineup of the Sixers is back in the ball game. And the starting lineup for the Boston Celtics is back in the ball game, which is something that, of course, you would expect. Dennis Johnson, 20 points.
Has he had a good night or what?
And Billy Cunningham, you can see what he has been through emotionally. Just look at his face. Look at the perspiration and the look of concern. 21 for Dennis Johnson. 5-point lead for Boston. 1:40 to go. Three-pointer, Barkley. He's hit 2. Make it 3. Charles Barkley. 13 points, and it's back to a 2-point game with 1.5 minutes to go. There's the time left in the game at the top of your screen.
Boy, it takes a lot of, you got to have a lot of heart to sit out there and take that 3-pointer at a time like that, especially if you're a rookie.
Shot clock inside of 10. Irving all over Bird. Parrish with Malone. There's the triple team. Johnson with 5 on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson coming through again. He's got 23. Julius almost turned it over. Tony with a good play to save it. The doctor cuts it back to a 2-point lead for Boston. 55 seconds to play. Julius has 16.
And a big play that was.
There's the game clock. Top of the screen. 9 on the shot clock. Bird. Ainge kept it alive. Knocked it out off of the 76ers.
Boy, that was a big play there.
33 seconds left. New 24 seconds on the shot clock, and we've got a timeout. Back with Bill Russell. And Bill, what a game to have for our last one of the season on TBS here. The Boston Celtics trying to go on to the finals. And the Philadelphia 76ers trying to stay alive. They trail by 2, 33 seconds to go. Billy Cunningham coming up with the strategy.
Now the Celtics have to score one more time at least. They got to get at least 1 point and hopefully 2 for them, because there's always a possibility of 3-point play.
And you see the timeouts remaining. The Celtics, of course, with only 1. Philadelphia with 2. Plenty of time left. And here's the last play. Now the miss by Bird. Now watch Malone go in. Nobody screams Danny Ainge out. He comes crashing through. Here he comes into your picture and is able to keep the ball alive. It bounces up and hits off of Charles Barkley. What a big play by Danny Ainge. And the Celtics have come up with the big ones to stay ahead.
So far.
And the Sixers need their best defensive effort of the season right here.
This is a tough play here.
Sixers will get the ball back. They must stop the Celtics on this possession. Game clock, top of the screen. 12 on the shot clock. They're looking for Bird on the right side. Malone to Irving. Larry Bird with a big steal as the Sixers are trying to call timeout. It is over. The Boston Celtics have won as Larry Bird comes up with a big play at the end. And the Boston Celtics made big play after big play, and they did it with their defense. The 76ers are going on to the championship of the NBA. They have won the Eastern Conference, and the dejected Charles Barkley looks on. Boston Celtics have done it again, but the Philadelphia 76ers put on a valiant battle, but they were their own worst enemy in the last few minutes of the ball game as they turned the ball over repeatedly, but credit the Boston Celtics with outstanding defense. We will watch the play again. Here are the final seconds ticking off from 33 seconds left in the game. The Celtics will set up. They will look for Larry Bird at the top of your screen, left side. He's got the screen by Parrish. There's 9 seconds differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Now, Hero Bird will come out to get open for the shot. He makes the move now. Irving, late getting there. Bird can't get the roll to go. Malone tips it out. Here comes Irving. They almost lose it. He gets it to Tony in the corner. Now they want a timeout. Now look at Andrew Toney. Has it knocked out of his hands by Larry Bird, and he dribbles out the game clock, and the 76ers find themselves going down to defeat, and the Boston Celtics and a jubilant Larry Bird will go on to the finals as they win the Eastern Conference Championship of the NBA with an outstanding, gutsy, clutch performance on their part. We'll be back with more activities, and Bill Russell will join the Celtics in the locker room. And our Light Beer and Turner Broadcasting most valuable player of the game is Dennis Johnson. He had 23 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, and he made one big play after another down the stretch. Light Beer from Miller is proud to present a check for $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation on behalf of Dennis Johnson. And as Bill Russell said, he just seems to get better and better as the playoffs roll along. Of course, tonight he had some help from a lot of people. Robert Parrish continued his outstanding performances here in the playoffs as he came up with 20 points and double figures in the rebounds. He's been averaging almost 14 a game in this series. Bird and McHale contributed 17 points each. Larry Bird still not the player that we saw earlier in the playoffs. That elbow and the jammed finger on his hand certainly causing him some problems. Danny Ainge got hot in the second half to come up with a lot of key shots from the outside. 12 big points, and of course that outstanding effort late in the ball game to take that ball away from Moses Malone, knock it off of Charles Barkley, and give the Boston Celtics one last chance. And even though it didn't work for the Celtics on Bird's last effort, Bird came through and redeemed himself with that marvelous steal against Andrew Toney as Billy Cunningham was frantically trying to get his team to call a timeout because he had a timeout left to set up a final play that could have tied the ball game. Boston 102, Philadelphia 100. It's only the second time Philly has hit the 100 mark in this 5-game series. Ironically, Boston's output offensively has gone down in every ball game. They started out with 108. They won 108 to 93. Then they won 106 to 98. Game 3 was 105 to 94. They lost Game 4, 104 to 115. And here tonight, they managed only 102 points, but Philadelphia came up short again. And a very disheartened Philadelphia ball club. Credit Charles Barkley with a couple of big hoops from them coming in after sitting down a lot in the second half with that big three-pointer. Moses Malone battling hard inside. Malone and Barkley had 13 points apiece, but it was Maurice Cheeks who really led the way for the Philadelphia 76ers with his inspired defensive efforts and 26 points offensively. Julius Erving had 8 points early in the ball game, managed to come up with 8 more the rest of the way, finished with 16. Richardson had 6 coming off the bench. Bobby Jones had 10 off the bench. Clem Johnson 2, and Williams had only 1. For
The Boston team, it was their their starters who really did the job for them. They got 9 points off of Ray Williams in 5 minutes, and then he sprained his ankle and never saw action again. And Wedman got 2, and Buckner only 2, so only 13 points off the bench for the Boston Celtics. But when you have 5 great players like Robert Parrish, McHale, Bird, Ainge, and Dennis Johnson, you don't always need a lot of help off of the bench. And of course, a lot of people have talked about the fact that the Boston Celtics might not be able to win because their players would tire out and that they're playing a lot of minutes. And it's showing you right now that it really doesn't always work out that way, because they've played wonderfully. Now let's go into the locker room, please, with Bill Russell and DJ.
Dennis, you had a real good playoff game tonight. You did most of the things I taught you.
Yeah, I tell you, a game like this, we would have loved to have a 10, 15-point win, but it came down. I think it was exciting. It brings up the TV ratings. We know that for sure when these two teams get together and play. But what we did, we went out and hustled from beginning to end. We had a little lapse in the start of the first quarter again, but it worked out well.
Well, Dennis, you know, we picked you as a player of the game. Now, you guys have a chance to be the first team in a long time to win back-to-back championships. How long will it take before you guys start thinking about your next series?
Oh, I think it's already in. We're settling in right now. I think everybody's anxious to start playing again, and hopefully we can go start off our 2 right here and then go down there and probably get the first one and see what happens after that.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Dennis. I really appreciate it. You had a great game you had tonight.
And thank you for teaching me so much.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah.
Dennis, you look marvelous.
Hey, Casey, Rumi, how you like this kind of game?
When we win, we won the ball game, and I like it very much. I enjoyed it.
Because I got about 8 gray hairs watching it myself, and I didn't have anything at stake.
Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah, I got about 50 gray hairs. Well, the whole point is, we knew that Philadelphia was going to come out and give it their best shot, and they really put us through a struggle the whole first half, and we had to scratch it out to get a 6-point lead or a 7-point lead at halftime. But in the second half, we should have put them away, but then we kept throwing the ball away, making bad decisions as far as shots go. But in the end, the hustle and scrap paid off, and Larry couldn't get going, but Dennis was holding us throughout the ball game and the whole bit. I think I did a wonderful job.
Oh, really? Now, Casey, you know, in pro sports, there's always, what have you done for me lately? Have you started thinking about the next series yet?
Yes, I'm thinking about it now. Tomorrow morning, I'll give it more thought, but that's after I go home and have a little din-din and then sit down and relax a little bit.
Okay, Casey, thanks a lot. Now, Rick, are you still there?
Oh, yes, Bill. I haven't gone anywhere. Okay. And congratulations, please, to Casey Jones for a marvelous job. He's done a terrific job with the Boston Celtics, who have now won the Eastern Conference Championship here in this 84-85 NBA season. And we'll be back with more coverage in just a moment.